Hey everyone, John here. Welcome to another episode of Grub Masters. I had a little time off between the holidays and I thought I would do up a big batch of bacon. I source my pork bellies from Costco. It's pretty cheap. It's like $3 a pound. And what I try to do is I try to get one that's as close to 10 pounds as possible. And the reason for that is you want to be pretty accurate with your measurements for your cure and the spice mixture, your salt, your garlic, what have you. If I get a 10-pound belly and I cut it in half, it's exactly 5 pounds and 5 pounds, give or take a few ounces. So also, a big shout out to the Making Bacon Facebook group. They have this EQ dry cure calculator out there, and it's basically a spreadsheet. You put in the number of pounds of belly you have, and it calculates right down all the salt, the cure, any additional spices, sugar, whatever you want to put in there exactly for you, so that you can take a lot of the guesswork out of it. And this EQ method is supposed to be like this equilibrium method where there's just enough there to penetrate the meat, do what it needs to do, but nothing extra. The original recipe is 3% salt. I thought that was just a touch salty, so I backed it down to 2%, and that seems to work pretty good for me. I don't like my bacon super salty. So I have that here. I have my digital scale out set to grams, and what I did is I did one batch for 5 pounds, and I'll do another batch now. I already pre-measured everything, so basically it's 45 grams of salt, 22 grams of sugar, any sugar you want. I'm using brown sugar. You could use maple sugar. You could use white sugar. A tablespoon of garlic powder, a tablespoon of onion powder, and 4 tablespoons of pepper. So we're going for a garlic pepper blend here. And what I'll do is I'll just take that and add to it the cure. Now the cure says that it's 5.6 grams. And experience is going to tell me that that is exactly 1 level teaspoon, which is what the instructions say for the cure as well. For 5 pounds, 1 level teaspoon, and that should be my 5.6 grams, and it is. So I've got the cure in there. This is cure number 1, and that's going to help keep this stable while it's in the refrigerator for so long brining. It's going to be in the fridge up to a week, and it's going to be weeping off all that moisture because of the salt content. All right, perfect. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my belly and I'm going to cut it in half. I'm just going to eyeball it, cut it in half, and what I'm going to do then is I have some 2-gallon Ziploc bags all ready to go. And what's great about these is it's going to give you plenty of room to work your spices around it. 1-gallon bags seem to be a little bit too small. It kind of gets a little tight and a little cramped. So I like these 2-gallon bags. And what I could do is just kind of set them in there, just kind of squeeze out of the cryovac. Alright, so now I've got my belly in there, and I just really need to apply the cure to each half. So what I like to do is just kind of get it all set aside, like that, open up the bag, and just put in handfuls, and just do my best to coat this. So I just want to hit all the surface area there. So try to put half on one side, flip it over, and half on the other side. And again, you're going to want to use all this cure because it's exactly measured out for 5 pounds. And then just use my gloved hand to kind of smooth it all out. And what I try to do is get all the edges as well. And just get a nice even coat on there. These are going to go in the refrigerator for 7 days. And every night what you're going to do is you're going to give them a little flip and a little moosh. You guys are all familiar with the moosh now after seeing the beef jerky video. Try to get the sides coated. Alright, pretty good. We're really just going to seal these babies up. Try to get as much air out of there as possible. It'll sit in the fridge. Again, 7 days, going to flip it around, kind of give it a little moosh. And I did this one 7 days ago. You can see what it looks like. So definitely a little bit different, right? Compare it. So obviously this one hasn't soaked through yet, but a lot of that moisture is soaked out. It's really kind of a paste. So all that pork juice has come out. It's a little bit stiffer than it was when it went in, and it's ready to go into the smoker. Hey everybody, it rained yesterday after I filmed that segment, so I wasn't able to get the bacon on. Stopped raining, looks like it's going to be good today, so I'm going to get it on the Yoder. I'm using the Yoder today because it has the rack capacity that I need, and actually when I turn on the fan, but not actually ignite it, it gives me some good convection through the cook box itself, and it gets that kind of smoke to roll over the bacon. So what we're going to do today is we're going to fire up our smoke tube. I'm going to load it up with some hickory pellets, and I'm going to kind of dab off the bacon slabs. They've got a little water still on them from the wash. Place them on there, and I'm basically just going to let it go. I will probably rotate the slabs a couple times throughout the day, and I'm just going to have to keep an eye on that smoker tube and make sure that it's full at all times, so that you know, I get a good smoke for multiple hours. So the smoker tube that I have is I think it's called the Amazing Smoke Tube. It's it kind of collapses down and pulls apart. So I'm going to put this up to the biggest capacity, and I'll load this up with these hickory pellets that I have. This always makes a little bit of a mess, so I like to take the pellets and put them in a cup. Use my hand as a little bit of a funnel. And that's it. So that's pretty much at capacity. So my smoker tube is filled up. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to light it with the torch. Set it to where it's going to go. I'm going to put it right over that cook pot. Light up the torch. It's the easiest way to light this thing. Just get it good and hot. Again, I'm going to turn on the Yoder just to get that flow through. I've got my fireboard hooked up, and the ambient temperature's here right next to the smokestack. I just want to monitor from inside where it's a little warmer what the temperature is. It's actually not bad at all today. Actually, it's 55 here today, almost 56, which is an amazing for January 1st. So, looks like it blew itself out, but it's smoldering. So now it's just time to get these slabs on. That is basically it. It's pretty much now just a waiting game. 20 pounds of bacon, that's going to go a long way. Cannot wait. We're at the 5-hour mark, and I'm going to replace the spent pellets in the smoker tube. There's about a handful of pellets still left in there. I probably could have gone another hour, but let's get it reloaded. And we'll relight it. And at this point, I think I'm going to just rotate around those slabs, make sure that they're getting smoked evenly. There we go. All right, I think we'll be good for another 5 to 6 hours. It's about 8:30. The second smoke tube is just about finished burning its way through. I'm going to load it up one more time. We've been getting about 5.5 hours on each smoke tube. which is pretty consistent to what I've done in the past. Hey everyone, it's 20 of 11. The bacon's been on for just over 12 hours now. I'm gonna pull it. The temperature's gonna creep down a little bit too cold tonight. I don't want it to freeze. I'm gonna pull it off, throw it into the fridge, and we'll slice it up tomorrow. It's the next night. The bacon's been sitting in the fridge since you last saw me. Been just kind of resting, mellowing out. I'm gonna try to get a few test slices in and get a little tasty taste and see how it is. Look at that. Beautiful mahogany color there. Look at that beautiful bacon. All right, I think we should go inside and give this a test fry. All right, it's the moment I've been waiting for over a week. I fried this up really quick, and it's gorgeous stuff. There's no doubt about it. It smells great. Definitely getting the smoke. Let's just taste. Oh my God, this is a home run. Not salty at all. I'm glad I backed off on the salt. You used the 3%. To my taste, it's a little too salty. I've been doing it at 2%. Really, really good. Wow. This is a meal all by itself. Amazing, amazing stuff. The only thing that can make this better is probably a heaping side of home fries that are homemade, of course. This stuff is great. Smells good. Tastes good. Feels good in my hand. Anyway, if you like what you see, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.